Today we finished up our baseboard. We grouted our sink and we put flooring in our bathroom. A tip when you put your sink on is to set it up on sawhorses and install as much of the plumbing and P-trap as you can out here instead of trying to do it under the vanity. Today you're going to need your impact driver, tape measure, pencil, and your grout float. What we have is we put this shelf brace on, and we also have our clothes rod going across. So when you put this part of your closet hardware in, you're going to want to put this brace on first, and then you'll cut your dowel down to size. And what I did to dry fit it is I started out by putting, before these were screwed in, I pinched them on the ends, and I'd adjust the dowel back and forth to hold it in place, and then I'd pinch one end where it looked even, and I drew around it. Then I did that on both ends, and then I was able to take this out and run a drill bit through the center hole. So then I knew exactly where my center was. And each of these dowels are a little bit bent, so it's not going to touch perfectly, but with the way to close it will, and that's all you need this for. So that's pretty simple. And we hung our bypass doors. We're about halfway done with it. We had to build down our track a little bit because the gap from our floor to the bottom of our door was too much and it wasn't catching the guide. So all that's left to do right now is adjust the doors, put our track on, and then put a piece of trim up here to hide it all. But yeah, that's it. Pretty simple. The trim's gonna go up here to hide all that stuff. So when you go and you hang your doors, you're gonna leave your brackets that the wheels are on a little bit loose. And when you go and you close the door, you can see if there's a gap along your wall. And if there is a gap, you're able to loosen those hinges and rotate the door a little bit as needed just to make it close flush. That's the best it'll get, because see how the walls, because if this is a straight door and it's touching up here and down there, that means our walls are a little warped. So there's really nothing we can do about that. So we finished tiling our shower today. All we had left was putting in our bullnose, which is the rounded tiles. While we're waiting for this to set, we're going to finish our flooring in our bathroom. And after that is set, we're going to jump to grout in our shower. And
how high up do the tiles have to go? Because you guys said it had to go like a little bit beyond the green.
So it's going, whatever tile lands on your shower valve, it's going this tile, and it's stopping at the tile above it. And then we're putting our bullnose over it.
So we added this 2x4 right here, and what we're going to utilize that for is when we put our trim up, it's going to give us something to nail to, and this piece of trim is going to conceal our track and just kind of give it a nice overall finish look. And so that worked out perfectly. That's going to hide the track. Once we're done, we're just going to caulk this edge right here and then touch it up with paint, and that would be our finished product.
And you said it's not supposed to hang over, right?
It's not supposed to hang down, because then you'll start interfering with the door here. You just want it to the bottom of that rail system.
Right now I'm just putting in trim for our pocket door. You need to put your trim in before you can put your baseboard up to the door. We have 1/4 inch of reveal on the sides and the top. That's pretty much it. Same thing as trimming out any other door. There we go.
So he's getting ready to put his lock on to his pocket door. So if we slide this on, one thing you'll notice, the lock is on the outside, and you want to keep this lever to the top, so it naturally wants to fall down and close. If we put this in to where the lock is on the inside where you would want it, this is going to fall down and prevent the door from opening. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take these sides off and swap them, so this latch will naturally want to close when the door's open. And with it being this way, your door will now close, and to open it, all you do is just pull it with the finger pull to close the door, and then it's going to naturally want to close. So we'll take a second and we'll swap the locks on it real quick, and then we'll come back. So you want your finger pull. Now the finger pull is going to naturally close, and you want the lock to the inside of the room. So all we did was swap the two pieces back and forth or with each other. So now this is for the lock to be on the inside, so you can lock the door, and your finger pull will naturally close when you shut the door.
Right now we're just filling in all the spaces between our tile with grout. Pretty simple. All you're gonna do is you're gonna take your float and just scoop a little out of your bucket, and all you do is just smear it on and take it off, and you apply pressure as you smear it, just to fill in all those grooves and really sink it back in there. It dries almost like a cement.
So one thing he went ahead and set his countertop on. So one thing I've learned when I worked in the field is it's easier to get to your plumb and cut your pipe right here, get your angle stops on. Go ahead and put your pop-up assembly in your sink, put your faucet on your countertop, get that all assembled, and then all you gotta do when you set it, then all you gotta do is just put your P-trap on and connect your water lines, and it makes it a lot easier, especially if you're like a tall person or so. It's easier to get underneath there and to do it while everything's already assembled now. So when you put your countertop on, all you gotta do is hook up your water lines and put your P-trap on, and it's good to go. So we went ahead and just go ahead and removed it. We're gonna clean it back up and then assemble everything while it's out, and then reassemble it. So this is the way I like to build my sink assembly. I like to put them on sawhorses because it just makes it easier. You can actually assemble everything and make sure it's all tight. If this was already in the cabinet box, it's going to be harder because you're going to be coming from this side, trying to get a wrench up underneath here to tighten these down. It's a little more difficult. So I like to pull out a pair of sawhorses, set my sink up on here, and then you'll be able to tighten everything down from the back of it without struggling inside the box, and you can make sure everything's tight. You can basically mock up your sink, get it all set up, and then drop it on top of your box and just hook up the water lines from there. So this is, I believe, a lot easier way to do your sink assembly. Get it all set up and then just set it on top of the box. So what I'm looking for is just kind of the straight nuts. When they sat the bottom down, they kept the reveal along the wall, the door with the wall. So that's nice and straight. It looks nice and clean. I like it. Doors look pretty good. They're nice and even. They got them. They had to cut one door down just a little bit, just so we can make sure that they roll nice and smooth. They did their 45 cuts on their baseboard here, just so you don't have that sharp edge. If you were to stub your toe, keep it nice and clean. It looks good. The closet looks really nice. So let's go into the bathroom here. They finished up their pocket door. Door latch works properly. They still have to cut in the little catch on the other side, but we'll get that to tomorrow. Let's go and
let's go and do the shower first.
So he grouted the shower. Shower looks nice and clean. We went back and touched up a couple little things to just pay attention to little air pockets that may appear when the grout starts to dry. We've already did that. So tomorrow we'll give it a nice wipe down. It has a little bit of a haze that's typical of your shower. So tomorrow we'll give it, once it fully dries, we'll hit it with a Microsoft or micro towel and clean it up, but it looks really good, nice and clean. One thing you want to pay attention to is your grout lines. We can adjust some of this tomorrow. We got a little bit of grout going over, but that can be cleaned up with a towel tomorrow. But it looks really nice. I like it.
And the sink.
So Jasper, he started off by putting his countertop on. We showed him a better way to do it, so we removed it. So there's no countertop on right now. The guys are going to do the plumbing on the sink, and then we'll set it back down into it. And then all you got to do is just hook it up. It's a little bit easier that way. You're not fighting trying to get into the box and get up on the back side of it to tighten everything down. It's a little bit easier when it's out. So we're showing them a little bit easier way first.
Overall assessment today.
It looks nice and clean. They got quite a bit done today. Very proud of these guys. These guys work hard. Everything looks good. Very good.